how to develop a website, right? So let's look at, I'm going to use Dreamweaver here, so you can just launch Dreamweaver and new HTML. So you see in Dreamweaver, again, we have code. Only look at the code, split the top part where you see what you type. Like for example, if you type the contents like hello, so it's going to show up. Now what we're going to do, we're going to create a form. Okay, so for people to publish a contents, right? So I'm going to say, okay, so fill in the form, right, below, and we can actually put the heading H1. So H1 pretty much just a heading that make the text like bold and get the size bigger. And if you like to use Dreamweaver to organize this code, like change the font type, font style, like font family, and center it, you can also do so, or you can just use the code right here. Like for example, center, you can just say center like that, right? So use HTML tag. It's going to center it, right? And go to window and show the properties. So you see the property is going to show up. Some of you may already have it at the bottom, but if you don't see it, just go to that menu. So like I said, you can control with Dreamweaver to like highlighting the text that you want to control, and then you could just format through this, right? Heading. So you may see heading 1 is the largest, and we have a CSS section 2. CSS pretty much just change the style to the text. Like I said, you can change the font, right? Font style, font family here with different style of your font. And I'm going to use this one then. Okay, console. And then like center, you can do alignment from that too. And you see the code is going to be added for you, right? It's being added for you. So you technically with Dreamweaver, you don't have to know all the HTML code. It's make it easier. So I'm going to change the title, like post. Okay, add post form. Alright, so now we're going to start to create a form where user can fill in information. So let's start that. Now again, like I said, you could do code if you know the code, right? And form, right? And then if you don't know code, you can just go to insert, right? And you see form right there. You can just hit form. It's going to insert form, right? So Dreamweaver just make it easier for you. You don't have to remember all the HTML tag. So we need to have text. Let's say we're going to create a form where user can fill information. So we're going to talk about like topic, right? Just put topic. User has to say the topic first or the title. So let's say title of the ads, and then the content, right, or the message that you want to put. And of course you want it to go to different line. We can use BR. You see, it's good to know both, right? How to use Dreamweaver to insert, right? Form, text area. You get text area, right? And the code. And now we want to put some spaces. If you don't know how to put NBSP, like NBSP with the elf sans and semicolon. That is like spacing. Yeah. Like if I put NBSP, it's going to space. Which normally we don't do that. We just need to like put a style to make it like more even. Okay. Like you see, if I put that, it's good just like you do space in front. So you make it line up. Okay. So just try to show you there are many ways to do this, right? Or you can use like table. So this is a table tag, right? So you can close the table and just need to know how many rows and 2 columns, 3 rows, right? So TR stands for table rows, right? And we can have 3 rows. So I'm going to do. So this is just a code that you need to know when we talk about HTML. Like what I try to do now, I try to create table with 2 rows. Okay, I just try to show you another way to organize this instead of using NBSP right there, right? So I try to create table with 2 rows, and table should have the data, which is TD. So if you read the W3 schools, right, like table, let me go to that real quick. Then like I assign you to read from the previous session. So learn HTML here, and you see HTML tables. So that's what I'm talking about here. Like to create table like that, table row, table data like that. That's what I try to do here. Okay. So I'm going to explain. So table row, right? So this is a table row. So we're indenting it. Okay. And I'm going to create 2 rows. And you see what I mean. I'm going to create a border first that you see. So the property name border will show the table. Okay. So and TD again, which is table data. All right, let's look at this. When I put this small table right there, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this instead of do BR and NBSP. You don't need to worry about. We're going to do the layout. We have here using table. So instead of using the NBSP, I could just move the word title right there. So you see, start to fill in on inside the table, and the content will go on the second row, which is here. TR is the row, right? So let's go inside the table now. Just use table to help on the layout. And then the text area will go to, see, then we don't need this anymore, but we need the input, right? Type equals to text. So it's going to get in there, right? And then if you use Dreamweaver, you could just adjust it from here too. Okay. Like the table itself, you could, if you want to adjust something there, you can just flip it. Alright, so we can either remove the border, which is the grid. It's going to go away. It's going to look like normally you do that with the form, right? I just set it to 0. And technically, I want to add another row. So for the submit button, so I do TR, right? And like input type equals to submit. And you can change the value, right? Instead of, by default it says submit, you can say post. So I get a button right there. And the whole thing, I could center the form. So I'm going to closing the form tag, the tab for center at the bottom. So we got, now if you want the text area to be bigger in the bigger rows, then you can just say rows equals to like 10. You can specify the size of the columns too. It's gonna get bigger, right? Same the title. And the button, let's make the, I think it's under sides, so we're gonna make it evenly. Okay, so okay, so it's even now. And post, let's make it center. So we gonna put another TD. If you remember, we have TD is for the data, right? And this one has to be on the TD is pretty much just the second columns. So it's gonna move this to the second columns right there. And then we can make it align center, right? So it, let's see, it doesn't move to the center. So in that case, we can use CSS to help, or we can, use CSS from the properties here, right? That we just learned, and make it. Let's see if it's gonna go center. Nope. So let's see, we have to click on the object, yes, instead, right? Actually a TD. Nope. The center tag around the type equals submit input. Switch back to the code. I rename form post to save and publish. And now we want to have a user ability to add another row. Then user can upload the file, right, an image, right? So we gotta do TD, right? Same. And 2TD, right? We just do select a file, which is on the first TD. That's how to organize it, right? Or style it. And input type equals to file, right? And give name equal img. And now you can see it's going to ask you to choose the file. Right there. So we have the contents, right, that we want.